Hey there, everybody out there in the land of YouTube. This is Annette Dion, the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. Today is Monday, the start of a new week. And the moon is in Gemini. Very thinky, very overthinking sign, but really good conversationalist, really good in business. And yeah, Geminis are very entrepreneurial. It's a good entrepreneurial day. And Venus went into Aries today, so relationships can be fiery because it's a fire sign, and it's a good time to start things anew in your relationship. If you're in a relationship, any kind of relationship. And what do we have going on? A lot, as usual. This is my attempt to keep you sane in the midst of all of it. Thank you for those over the weekend who attended my pendulum class. That was the first one. There's another on May 7th that's quite full, but I have room on May 14th. So, and don't worry if you didn't receive an email yet to confirm your place in class, you will. And that's about it for housekeeping. What's going on? Is Russia's military going to defect? I have that as a question here. And a little while back, I mentioned in passing that when I really tuned into what's going on over there, I feel, it's going to take a while, but the military, I feel a coup. And I feel the people of Russia having had enough. I don't get a time frame on that, and we'll check the pendulum and see, but that's my take, and I had said that before, so let's just see what's going on with that now. And I've heard a couple people have told me, well, through the comments, I've been mentioning that I feel like Putin is extremely ill. I mean, extremely ill. Very, and I've seen some video clips since of him looking extremely ill. Not sure what he has. I've heard anything from Parkinson's to colon cancer. So there are definitely people that are very much guarding that information, guiding people not to divulge what's going on with him health-wise. So I want to look and see, is the Russian military starting to defect? And for that I get a strong yes. Pretty strong yes. So the Russian military is starting to defect. Okay. I think I might have heard that on the news too. I'm just saying that I had kind of pointed to that a while ago, that I sensed that. Maybe it doesn't take a psychic, but it was a psychic impression. Is it above, okay. Is it above 30% of the military that will defect or is thinking of defecting? It's not above 30%. Okay, is it 30% of the military that are, around 30% that are considering defecting or planning to defect or defecting? It's right around 30%. Right around 30% of Putin's military, what I'm picking up, are in that mode of, in the mindset of defecting. The rest are brainwashed. That's what the guides just said. The rest are brainwashed. I want to just alert everyone to this fact that people's minds can be controlled and people can be brainwashed. So that's what's happened with the Russian people. That's what's happened with a certain segment of the American population. And that's just a thing that happens. And Russia, of all the countries in the world, Russia has mastery over psychological manipulation. So but 30%, what the pendulum is showing me is 30% of the Russian military considering defecting or in that defecting mindset. That's significant. Let's see, since we're in pendulum land, let's see, is it on a trajectory to increase to more military wanting to defect? Yes, definitely. Are we going to see evidence of the military, the Russian military, defecting. It's going around. It's going around to and then to a yes. It's kind of like winding up and then going to a yes. So yeah, interesting. Let's take a look at the cards to check on Putin's health. And also, you know, Nancy Pelosi, she's got it going on, that woman. I mean, she's just like, I'm going to Ukraine. Off she goes. Hang on, I dropped a card. Okay, about Putin. This is about Putin. We'll read about Pelosi too. This is about Putin. The Fool card. He's... Alright, how do I put this? This is Putin, this is a Fool card. And I know that's because I can't say that he thinks he's been foolish because he's a sociopath and they don't think that way. But he's being viewed, we're going to start to see Putin being viewed as really a fool on the world stage. And I think he's going to get wind of it. I hope he keeps himself kind of, I don't know, comatose, inebriated, I don't know. So like, because if he knows that he's looking like a fool, Putin knows he's going to get wind of that he's looking like a fool, that people are looking at him as what a foolish thing you've done. The Magician card is he's going to still try to do the smoke and mirrors thing. The Ten of Pentacles, this is about arms to Ukraine. And actually, I feel like Putin's going to like kind of go to sleep in a way. Like he can't look at it. He's not, he's going to be in denial. He's like in another world. It's really interesting because it looks like even though he tries to manipulate it to look good, I don't think he's going to be able to hide the fact that the world, well, NATO is arming the Ukrainians. And I did hear too that Zelensky now is figuring out ways to speak to the Russian people about what's really going on. So there you have it. Interesting. I think the prayers are working for the people of Mariupol because it was looking so really, I mean, it was hard to believe that they'd get out of there with all the bombing that the Russians were doing at that steel factory that they were trapped in. Oh my gosh, babies and women and old people. It's just, like I have told you, I can't go too deep into it because it's too much. And we have to just let this thing play out. So I really did see that Pelosi's visit, if you saw a video of Pelosi showing up in Kyiv to meet with Zelensky and, you know, the team there around them, he lit up like a Christmas tree. It was, that was a big deal. That was a big freaking deal. So let's take a look. Let's see what the cards say about the aftermath of Pelosi's visit to Ukraine. I mean, for all what the right says about Pelosi, I feel like she was a general in a past life, and I've also gotten, a while ago, I picked up that she was James Madison in her past life. And I don't know anything about James Madison, honestly. I need to look back at my history and see what all James Madison did. I mean, of course, I've heard of him, but as far as the details about what he actually... I'm sure my viewers will tell me all about him. Okay, so so what Pelosi's trip did was, okay, there she is, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of, that would be communication and projects and that kind of thing. It was a project, all right. The Ace of Cups, really, it made Zelensky feel like, oh, and I think I heard this too, actually, and I'm picking it up on the cards too. It made Zelensky feel like this is going to get us over the hump. Whew. Thank God, right? Thank God Biden's in office. Thank your lucky stars about a lot of things. Let's just take a moment. There's a lot that's going good if we can shift our perspective in the face of things. Yeah, so it was really, really good. The Two of Swords is like, the guides are saying now the Democrats have to go back and sell sell to the American people that we need to save democracy. And it starts in Ukraine. You'd think it would start in the United States, but we're not doing a great job at that. We're working on it, but this is like making the case, coming back to the United States. Pelosi comes back to the United States and making the case that we must save democracy. The Republicans, I'm not saying they're going to stand in the way successfully, but they're going to push back. They're not going to succeed at that, but that's, you know, I asked about what's the outcome. Very good, very beneficial. It's going to push them over the hump, the Ukrainians, and it's going to be very good. But coming back to the United States, it's like, well, what's going on there? Rand Paul pops into my mind. Oh my gosh. I'm going to pick one more card about, you know, the aftermath. Well, 2 came out, so the aftermath. Democrats are going to stand alone in many ways, but will stand strong. The Democrats, our democracy is going to stand strong in the face of the resistance. And the resistance is certain people in the GOP. I know. You know, I want to, let's ask, because we see all these, you know, Trumpsters running for different seats right now. It's already May, people. We are getting closer and closer, and it's going really fast. And one has to ask oneself, self, why are these Americans so against democracy? Maybe that's a question. Hang on, the cards are flying in tonight. A lot of energy in the room. They're fools. The Republicans are fools. Talk about not knowing when you have it good. But I do, now the Princess of Pentacles, and I actually see that a lot of Americans, except for those that, it's the second time that card came up, except for those that are foolish. And I don't mean any insult to that. I mean naive and ignorant. They just don't know. I feel like the Democrats are really going to come in strong in terms of making a case for we need to save our democracies by helping Ukraine. By helping Ukraine, we're saving our democracy. We're being seen in a positive light by NATO. NATO is expanding, and we don't have some buffoon in office who's saying NATO is stealing our money. What the? We live in interesting times. So Trump goes to Ohio and has some kind of rally, to endorse J.D. Vance, who I am really convinced that J.D. Vance is feeling really guilty about how much he's lying. I mean, I don't know if guilt is the right word. It's almost like J.D. Vance is sidestepping his true self. And I'm not saying J.D. Vance is like a saint, obviously, but it's almost like, well, like a lot of these Republicans, they used to have scruples and morals, and they've sidestepped them to go for greed, and their blind lust for power took over. But I honestly, somebody said something in the comments. I don't know anything about J.D. Vance, but I have seen clips of him saying he was a never-Trumper back in like 2017. I can't imagine having that little integrity, honestly. I'm sure none of you can imagine that either. Like, to be that flimsy and not true to your word. I can't even fathom it. Anyway, my point is that somebody wrote in the comments a little bit of J.D. Vance's history, that he converted to Catholicism or something. I'll have to go back and read it. And thank you, whomever, graced me with that information. And said something about his grandfather. Now, just that's all I remember is a mention of J.D. Vance's grandfather, and I just got his grandfather is like with him and like going, Mend your evil ways, son. I really do feel that. And we're all psychic to some degree. And I feel like J.D. Vance, maybe he was close to his grandpa or something, but he's really, it's almost like he's looking out of, his kind of shifty eyes. Like, is anybody really, is my grandpa really around? Am I going to go to hell for this? The answer is yes. Anyway. Oh, let's take a look at, let's just, while we're on the topic. So anyway, Trump has a rally, and he's there to endorse J.D. Vance, and this is the epitome of stupidity if I've ever seen it. And he gets the name screwed up and calls him, I wrote it down, because one of the other candidates is Mandel in Ohio. I think he called him J.P. Mandel. He was there to endorse the guy. Wow. And then he goes on and he brags about how smart he is. Trump does. And he's probably still, I've refrained from watching rallies. I just, I have other things to do, but, and I pretty much know exactly what he says anyway, because it's always the same. Pretty much word for word. And I know he stands up there and he talks about how brilliant and smart he is. I mean, if you're really brilliant and smart, you don't have to go around bragging about it. Can you say insecure? No, I'm really smart. I can say all these words. I can say these words back. We used to know the list. It was a while ago. But he repeats the list of words every single time. You guys know what I'm referring to. The cognitive test to see if you have dementia. The signs are all pointing to that he has dementia. It's a very terrible disease. I'm not saying anything about, no judgment. But he has it. He has the onset of it. It's obvious. Oh, so what I was going to do before I started going on about Trump was I want to just use the pendulum to see who is going to win. I mean, it looks like J.D. Vance is going to win, but man, his grandpa's not happy. Let's see what the pendulum says. Maybe there's going to be, I think it's pretty close. Mind you, I don't know much about these candidates at all. Okay, so is Gibbons going to win? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Is Dolan going to win in Ohio? Is Dolan going to win? Is Mandel going to win? Is Mandel going to win? Oh, it's kind of undecided on Mandel. It's looking positive for Mandel. I'll have to look. After this, I'm going to go look. It's looking positive for Mandel. Mind you, I haven't been following this race. Is J.D. Vance going to win? Good Lord. I'm going to look at the cards, because it's saying, I mean, everyone thinks J.D. Vance is going to win, and I haven't really followed what, let's do that again. Let's do that again. Okay, this is about who's going to win in Ohio. Gibbons, Dolan, Mandel, I'm going too fast. Okay, Gibbons, there's a female, I don't know which one. I mean, I just caught this really quickly last minute. Dolan, J.D. Vance, Mandel. You saw it here, people. No idea what I'm talking about. I'm just going with the pendulum. Okay, so, and I don't know when we're going to find out, so I just took a big risk there with the pendulum. I'm getting Nolan, or Dolan, or I don't know. Somebody who wasn't J.D. Vance. A vote for a GOP Republican is a vote for autocracy. Please pass the word. A vote for a GOP Republican. I mean, I know we're talking about Republicans right now, but I'm just saying, came to me today, just to make people understand this year for the primaries, a vote for a GOP Republican is a vote for autocracy / fascism. Pass it on. I don't think it's sunk into, it definitely hasn't sunk into enough people's minds. I'm going to take a look at Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is all over the news today because there's some new report or a new book out. I'm just giving you, like, I'm skimming the news for you. I don't have details in terms of what the book is or what the report is or what, you know, who wrote it. But anyway, there's been a study kind of done, and I think it's in a documentary format. If you watch the news, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll look into it more later. But where it's pretty much making the case for Tucker Carlson is really promoting fascist rhetoric repeatedly. This is a playbook that the Democrats have to learn from. It's repetition, 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 repetition. Repetition, repetition. Catch my drift. And Tucker Carlson keeps on telling his audience, which is a loyal, faithful audience, they're coming to get you. They're trying to take away our whiteness. They are, what are they? They will not, they're trying to replace us. They're trying to make us not men anymore. It's just, it's out of the fascist playbook. The only thing that gives me a sense of, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say hope, but like, the odds are for us is that we've been a democracy for so long. Imperfect, but we have been a democracy for so long. He's saying, you know, the brown people, you know, all these. He's basically saying the rest of the world is, the rest of the country anyway, is racist against white people. That's basically Tucker Carlson's rhetoric. That just, it's amazing how often it's repeated. Oh my gosh, the Fool card just won't give up tonight. Someone's playing with me. Just trying to get me to pay attention. Okay. Tucker Carlson is a fool. But the people that are following him and believing his, they're one-dimensional. Those are the guys who are saying they're one-dimensional people. Well, the star card indicates that it's going to make us stronger as a country. Remember I always talk about resistance training? And I feel as though, let me see, which percentage of the American population, we're doing percentages tonight, which percentage of the American population is in Tucker Carlson's camp? 10%? Oh, really? Just 10%? About 10%. So before you get all, like, you know, worried, I'm getting 10%. But 10% can do a lot of damage. I'll have to look at the stats on that. Somebody want to look that up for me? You know, this is a group effort. It's a team. We're Team PNN. Speaking of that, was after my Saturday Night Live ridiculousness. My live show on Saturday. Check it out if you haven't. It was a hoot. I'm always reluctant to go live. It's like, it's a juggling act, but it's a lot of fun too. Speaking of that, Corey's coming back. I haven't seen hide nor hair of Corey, but he's slated to return to the States tomorrow from his trip in Amsterdam. I got no pictures of tulips. He didn't send me anything, not even a text. But anyway, I'm sure he's having a good time. So we'll probably go live on Friday, but I'm just throwing that out there. I haven't talked to him. So Saturday night was fun, and so I was wrapping it up here and driving home, and I caught Joe Biden's little, you know, roasting people at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, And Trevor Noah was stellar. I'm a big fan of Trevor Noah. I don't watch him the way that I used to ever since COVID, and I actually don't watch TV. I don't have a TV, but I just watch afterwards on YouTube. But I did catch that. It was live. And Joe Biden, you know, you got to hand it to him. I love the old-fashioned America, and he is the old-fashioned America, and he's doing a brilliant job, and we really need to do something about getting the truth to the people. We need to have democracy. And democracy is like, we know we're not perfect, and we can make fun of ourselves. I make fun of myself. You guys make fun of yourselves. It's kind of funny. Corey and I do that all the time. We can't take, Oscar Wilde said, life is much too important to be taken seriously, to be taken too seriously. Life is much too important to be taken too seriously. So it was nice, it was important, and I encourage you to listen to the speeches at the correspondence dinner. I mean, it will give you chill bumps at times just about democracy and how fragile it is. And I just caught the tail end of the pictures of the journalists that we've lost in Ukraine. I think there were 10, really heart-wrenching. But, you know, and I say it all the time, I think, and Trevor Noah addressed this too, I really think that we have taken our democracy so for granted, and the First Amendment is freedom of speech, and we have, oh my gosh, it's a rare thing. The countries that are democracies, especially the United States, we cannot screw that up. Anyway, it's great. I encourage you to watch it. I'm going to take a look at how that shifted things, if it did. And the Fox News people were there, all vaccinated, as Joe Biden pointed out. He had some pretty good zingers. It was funny. But I love that he could take a joke. Remember? Trump couldn't take a joke. We should have known right there, you know, what he was made of. He sat there and he just pouted when Obama was roasting him. It was really funny. People, life is short, time goes fast. Enjoy it. Laugh. Anyway, you all know that. I'm just saying in general. So what happened with the correspondence dinner was it really touched people. It really touched people. And the Four of Swords, to me, indicates being stuck in negotiations. So I would say that it really made people weepy, and, you know, like the Moon card is all about emotions. And then the Four of Swords is like, yeah, the negotiations will be tough, but communication wins. Now, when I say the negotiations will be tough, I don't think I mean actual negotiations, but that's what that card represents. Kind of. For instance, getting Fox News to see what they're doing. It was pointed to a few times. What they're doing and how they're abusing the privilege of freedom of speech. And that's a stuck conversation. That's what that's about. But it definitely got to people's emotions, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and the message got out. So, believe it or not, everyone, I'm feeling optimistic. Not that I'm not an optimist, I'm a Sagittarius. What do I say about Sagittarians? We're ridiculously optimistic. It's just ridiculous. If you're a Sag, you know what I'm talking about. My other thing that I say about a bossy Sag is a happy Sag. I'm done with the Sag thing, but I just wanted to share that. Just in case you have, you know, anything in Sagittarius. I do feel optimistic. I do feel optimistic. And actually, speaking of freedom of the press, one thing that gives me optimism is that we're hearing all the news, that we have these investigative journalists. I'm always thinking in my mind how grateful I am that we do have that. Let's not take it for granted. Let's pound down the doors at Fox News. Let's keep writing to them. We've had enough, we've had enough, we've had enough. And on that note, too, just speaking of that, let's get in touch with the CEO of Toyota, because, and let's find out who all those corporations are that are deciding to jump on the campaign trail giving to insurrectionist candidates. This is too important. This is too important. Just because I'm talking about optimism, I'm going to pull 3 cards, not about the United States, but actually about Ukraine. I know I already visited that, but I'm revisiting it for a second because I'm wondering if some of that optimism is coming from that they will win the war. After a lot of difficulty, this feels like Russia trapped. The communication getting out. This is about Ukraine. I see healing for Ukraine. I really do. I see healing for Ukraine. So there, I just had to visit that because I was just talking about optimism. It doesn't, definitely, you know, that's not speaking to all the unspeakable devastation. I'm just saying, I don't think Russia's going to win. May 9th. All right, let's just go back to, okay, May 9th is Russia's victory day of having defeated the Nazis, the Germans, and I don't know exactly what year it was in World War II. '41 maybe? I have to look that up. So on May 9th, which is Russia Day, I don't know what they officially call it, kind of like the 4th of July here. In terms of how big the celebration is what I'm picking up in Russia. The Tower card. I feel like that Russia's going to be getting hit big time on that day. And the King of Pentacles, Putin's going to still pretend that he's fine, that he's just fine. And I think that he deceives himself too. I think that he thinks that he's fine. I really feel like he lives in an alternate reality, Putin does. And the 3 of Pentacles is, okay, so this is like May 9th. There's going to be lots of explosions. I feel like the guides are saying the Ukrainians are going to really hit some military bases of Russia. And the 3 of Pentacles is they're going to start getting stronger. As Putin is pretending that he's winning. But oddly, I feel like on May 9th, Russia's going to really be taking some hits. I don't mean to keep going back to the topic, but it keeps pulling me back in. Let's go to the list and see what else is here. I hope you all had a good Monday. By the way, I have time to do readings this week if you want a reading. annettedionpsychic at gmail.com. Don't ask me why I'm not busy. It's fine. It's all good. I always look forward to kind of seeing you or sensing that you're out there. Next. Oh, Georgia. Oh, Georgia. So I'm just kind of attempting to remember what happened in Georgia. I know a grand jury is being selected. How's that going to go for Trump? How's that going to go for Trump? I just see blah, 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 how that's going to go for Trump. Blah, 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 blah. That's Trump. You know, he blah, blah, blahs. I didn't hear what else happened in Georgia with the Trump and the grand jury situation. Let's see. Oh, it looks like convention wins. That means this is about the Hierophant. That's about the legal system. All right, Trump in Georgia, election fraud, trying to interfere with the elections. The irony. The irony. Trying to commit voter fraud. The irony. All right, anyway, the lovers. I feel like he's going to be in trouble there. Let's see. Is Trump going to be prosecuted for voter fraud? That looks like a yes to me. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm really wondering about that Ohio thing. That kind of threw me for a loop. I want to read, a really good thing happened today. They're moving forward on the Tulsa massacre 100 years ago. There are 3 centurions left that experienced the horror in Tulsa. When these white supremacists just decided we need to go kill these people because they're black. A lot of people. I think there was like close to 400 people 100 years ago. I think it was a 100-year point last year. And reparations, the case for reparations for these centurions, I don't know how much money it would be. We have to make reparations. It's just, you wonder why this country is where it's at, in terms of still being racist and everything. The Germans paid reparations to the Jews. There's something really out of balance with a country that doesn't pay reparations. Anyway, that's my personal feeling. Are they going to get what they deserve? I guess one of them is 108. Living there. Can you imagine living your entire life with that trauma? Oh my gosh. What people go through. Sometimes I just stop and I'm like, oh my, what people go through. Like, for instance, like the people in Mariupol that, the children, the elders, the people that are escaping that, what, and all the people in Ukraine, what people go through. Pray. Yes, they will get the reparations. That almost makes me cry. The people in Tulsa, the centurions. I think that's what you call them, the centurions. Sounds like a different race from outer space. Or is it I think that's the right word. They will get reparations. That's the good news. That's the good news. Should we dive down the Ron DeSantis rabbit hole? What do you think? Switching gears? Oh, by the way, I meant to mention that it appears that in Vanity Fair, there's an article about J.D. Vance, so I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna take a look at that. I just noticed that on my notes to check that out. You gotta take notes. I mean, there's no other way to keep track when there's so much going on. Let's look at Ron DeSantis. Let's just ask a general question. How is Ron DeSantis feeling right now? Today, on May 2nd. Happy Beltane, by the way. It was, over the weekend, yesterday, it was Beltane. Flowers. I'm going to get a bunch of flowers. I'm going to change my background. They're spring bunnies, but, they're Easter bunnies left over, but they still fit the decor. I saw a bunny today on my walk. It just reminded me. It was so cute. How's Ron DeSantis feeling? It was so cute. And then I saw it hop into there was like a little bunny tunnel, and it was a big bunny too. It was very, very cute. Ron DeSantis is heartbroken. Poor Ronnie. He needs to laugh at himself. Ron DeSantis needs to just laugh at himself. You know how to tell that somebody's a malignant narcissist, among other things? They can't laugh at themselves. He's trying to figure it out. Ron DeSantis is trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out how to make what he's doing appealing to the people. And you know what how he does it? He reverts to fascism. He assembles a military police to be at the polls. But I think this thing about what he's done about Disney. Florida's got a sweet deal with Disney World being there, but taking care of all their bills and stuff, and all that tax income, all that tourist income. Florida's had it going on because of Disney World. Hello, why do most people go to Florida? To go to Disney World. Most people. It's the biggest tourist attraction in the world. Good Lord. It's a lot of money. It didn't work out well for Ron Desantis. I think that he's feeling very wounded. That's a sad card. The Four of Wands. There's a lot of legal stuff going on that's not going to be in his favor. I think we already kind of know that. He's going to salvage what he can, and the guides are saying it's kind of like he gets kicked out of the sandbox. He can't play in the sandbox anymore. That's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. I don't think I'm going to get into the Roe versus Wade thing. It's horrifying what's going on with women's rights being taken away. But I did see in the past that women's rights would be taken away and then they would be reinstated. Let's ask the pendulum, in how many states this year will women's rights be taken away? Is it less than 10? Huh, that's interesting. It feels like it's less than 10. I hope that's true. I'm going to go to Texas briefly. How Beto O'Rourke is doing in Texas. That's what we're going to look at. Beto O'Rourke in Texas. Beto. I love Beto. Anybody who is a good person who cares about people, I'm in love with you. That's just how I feel. If you care about people, I care about you. A lot. A lot. And Beto cares about people. Do you notice the GOP doesn't care about people at all? And Joe Manchin falls into that category, as does Kirsten Sinema. Let's put all this positive energy. Let's, take a moment. Think of all the people that are in positions of leadership that are really wanting to help people, that are genuinely helping people. Let's think of them. All the ones you can think of. Let's do this as a practice and send them positive energy. Let's do that more than listening to the bad news. Because my guides handed it to me, and I mentioned it the other night. We got to start thinking about what we want, people. It's really, really important. So send really strong vibes to all those people that are really caring, that really care about people and are really helping people, like Beto O'Rourke. It's looking good for Beto. It's looking like he's going to overcome some obstacles. The guys just said massive lawsuits against Texas. Massive. I said that before about Greg Abbott. Yeah, it looks like 3 Cups is a win. All right, but don't go back to sleep. Stay awake. Stay woke. I'm going to remind you of my acronym for woke. We offer kind energy. We're getting t-shirts made. Grassroots of Democracy is getting t-shirts made. We offer kind energy. Woke. Let's put the emphasis on the love, because what the GOP is fostering is hatred. I'm telling you what you already know, but we need to be all together in this. The GOP is pushing hatred. When they stand up and they say, well, Trump, it was the best, they're promoting hatred. Love is stronger. Always. Why am I fanning these cards out again? I guess I'm going to ask about somebody else. Let's see how Stacey Abrams is doing in Georgia. I'm not too worried about Raphael Warnock. I know a lot of people are, but I don't know. For some reason, he's a god man. Raphael Warnock. I mean, he has an angel name. It's the angel of healing. Stacey Abrams. Well, it looks like Stacey Abrams is, the Four of Cups is like an opportunity being offered, not necessarily to her, but I feel like people aren't jumping on board enough at the present time to push her into a winning position. So it's time for people in Georgia to pay attention, but they will. The Two of Cups is there's some harmony there. So right now, it doesn't look like Stacey Abrams is ahead, but it's early. And the Queen of Wands, she's getting her message out more and more and more and more. I put Stacey Abrams and Beto in the same category in terms of how much they are out there canvassing and getting out the vote. And really, really just, they love America. And I think Stacey Abrams is in a good position. There's a lot of racism. And a few more things have to happen to push her ahead with what the race there. It would be great if she was governor of Georgia. Oh my gosh. And if Beto was governor of Texas, let's just say, when? How's that? That's all I have for you tonight, but I'll be back. As I said, if you'd like to get a reading, annettedionpsychic at gmail.com. If you would like to sign up for the pendulum class May 14th, annettedion7 at gmail.com. Hang tight. I'll put it in the description. Please join Grassroots of Democracy. It's really important. Grassroots of Democracy at gmail.com. Just send an email, type AYE in the subject line. And we have meetings every Thursday, and we also meet on Saturdays. That's all I have. Namaste. I love you guys. You're awesome. Pat yourselves on the back. Bye.